The Black Panther Party for Self-Defense was a civil rights group that fought for the freedom and equality of Black Americans. It was founded by junior college students Huey P. Newton and Bobby Seale in 1966 in Oakland, California. The Black Panthers derived from the Black Power movement. It was created to address police brutality, systemic racism, and disparities in predominantly Black neighborhoods. Their movement was in stark contrast to other resistance efforts, like MLK's nonviolence movement. It was something new and something never seen before. Wait, did you catch that? The images we presented on screen may have seemed familiar. Oftentimes, when people think of the Black Panthers, they think of men holding guns and fighting battles with racist cops. Government organizations like the Counterintelligence Program, or COINTELPRO for short, and the FBI intentionally instilled these images into the public conscious in order to make the Panthers look more aggressive than they were. Although this narrative is partially true, it does not fully capture the Black Panther Party in its entirety. Black women were invaluable contributors to the Black Panther Party's success and were the foundation of the organization.
Women joined the Black Panther Party for many different reasons. Joanne Tarika Lewis, the first woman to join, was already a student activist and demanded to be a part of the organization because of the overwhelming lack of women. In contrast, Assata Shakur joined because it was the most progressive activist organization in terms of women's rights. Others, like Erica Huggins, heard about them from newspaper articles about the brave young Black activists of the BPP that were ruthlessly being murdered by police. However, in general, women joined because, just like the men, the women wanted to serve their communities in very practical ways to address issues of police brutality, stated by historian Mary Phillips. By the height of the Black Panther Party, over 2/3 of its members were women. Because of the incarcerations of male leaders of the Black Panther Party, it left space for women to take up prominent roles. For example, like how in 1974, Elaine Brown became party chair, or Malika Adams, who became a leader in organizing and running many programs, such as the Free Breakfast for Children program, helping with jobs such as running the health clinic or political education classes didn't have gender assignments and were done by both men and women. Although, due to women's overwhelming majority in the party, as Adams states, they were in the BPP pretty much. Women worked as educators, creating schools, nurses, giving out medical evaluations, community organizers, marksmanship trainers, and bodyguards. Any job men did, women did as well, and were more impactful due to their outstanding numbers. Also, many women had to juggle being mothers on top of the work they did for the party. One woman stated, "I was in labor, cooking breakfast for the breakfast program, so I was in between contractions, flipping pancakes." The BPP also used art to explain what it means to be a revolutionary. The artwork was used in the party's newspaper called the Black Panther. The paper would portray the men of the BPP as strong revolutionaries, but women artists like Tarika Lewis challenged this by portraying the women as the same strong revolutionaries, tearing down traditional gender roles of women.
However, despite women's grand contributions to the Black Panther Party, many men in the organization refused to respect them, and their impact continued to be undermined. Women were fighting a double front war, racism from white America and sexism from the male Panthers in the party. Kathleen Cleaver, who would later become a key leader in the party, suggested that the greatest difficulty was that Black men and women's objectives directly conflicted with one another. Women joined the Black Panther Party to tear down sexist narratives and traditional gender roles. Men used taking to the streets to fight racist white America as a step to feed their hypermasculinity. In a letter from one of the founding members, Huey P. Newton, he frames himself as an advocate for both women's and LGBTQ rights. When actually reading the letter, however, it sounds more like he tolerates women's rights than supports it, due to the letter's satirical tone. In an interview from Bobby Seale, he relays an anecdote about how he experienced Panther men being openly misogynistic in front of him.
With platters and platters of fried chicken, 3 or 4 platters. And then I noticed the sisters stood back against the wall. About eight or nine of them. I says, "Aren't you sisters gonna eat?" "Oh, we don't eat until the brothers finish eating."
Other members were more transparent with their misogynist ideologies, like Eldridge Cleaver. Cleaver joined the party as a convicted rapist. He had many sexist ideologies. For example, he believed that the rape of white women was revolutionary. Cleaver's attitude towards women, specifically in the Black Panther Party, completely switched. In one instance, where 8 Black Panthers were on trial for murder, 5 of them being women, Cleaver issued a statement in the newspaper essentially saying that the male Panthers should support and uplift women during that time, and said that the women were just as revolutionary as the men. Cleaver's hypocritical nature only works to diminish his words. In one instance, he supports women's rights, and in another, he spews predatory language. One interesting thing we have taken note of through our research is that as much as the Black Panther men hated the systems and society they lived under, they were more similar to the people they aspired not to be.
Even through all the gender oppression women face, they continue breaking down barriers all through the organization's time standing. Ultimately, the party was officially dissolved in 1982 for a collection of reasons. The main reason for their demise can mostly be attributed to the relentless of COINTELPRO and the FBI, an internal conflict between members. A lot of the Panthers' work has been either dismantled by the government or stolen for them, such as with the Free Breakfast Program.
Today, we can still see aspects of the women of the Black Panther Party's legacy, such as in the Black Lives Matter movement and the #MeToo movement. The founders of the renowned Black Lives Matter movement, Alicia Garza, Patrisse Cullors, and Opal Tometi, were actually Panther women as well. That's why a lot of their values they emphasize draw direct parallels to the Black Panther Party's 10-point program. The #MeToo movement was created to give women, specifically Black women, a voice and the confidence to speak up about their past sexual abuse. Black Panther women's bravery to speak of issues in their community has made future women leaders empowered to talk about their own experiences and issues today. Other activists, like Jill Christina Vest, have taken it upon themselves to continue to tell the stories of Panther women. Vest operates the only museum in the nation with a focus on telling the stories of these unappreciated leaders.
The revolution will not be televised. There will be no pictures of pigs shooting down brothers on the instant replay. There will be no pictures of pigs shooting